Today we are going to tell you how to detect or what are the main symptoms of having low magnesium levels. But also, and much more importantly, we want to tell you where you can get more magnesium, and also avoid having low magnesium. I'm not only going to tell you what the best foods are, but how to cook them, how to get the anti-nutrients out of them, how to make them better absorbed. Also, we are going to talk about supplements, which one is better, how to avoid their side effects, what is the dosage I should take when I have to supplement. Finally, I'm going to tell you about the benefits in your body of having enough magnesium. In this talk we are going to talk about everything about magnesium, and from now on you will know how to detect if you lack more magnesium in your body. And please, if you want, after watching the video, leave us a comment telling us your experience, ideas or tips to help us improve the channel. Let's start with the symptoms of lack of magnesium in your body, and how to detect that this is happening. The symptoms of magnesium deficiency are nonspecific. You may feel very tired, even without exercising, you may have muscle cramps, yes, your fingertips or toes may go numb. In extreme cases you may have seizures. It can also be difficult to treat your blood pressure if you are hypertensive, or it can be difficult to treat your blood sugar if you are diabetic. So you see, detecting magnesium deficiency by symptoms alone is complicated, so you have to think about it and know how to detect what you are really lacking in order to detect magnesium deficiency. You have to understand the following: 1 out of 2 people in many countries have magnesium deficiency, and this happens for several reasons. Either they eat little magnesium because they do not know what foods contain magnesium, or they simply eat foods with magnesium, but without taking out the anti-nutrients, that is, without properly consigning them, then they lose this essential mineral. In fact, it is the 4th most important in your whole organism. Other causes of magnesium deficiency are some drugs that you take as diuretics, gastric protectors that I will tell you later. Alcohol also impedes the absorption of magnesium. But then, how can you detect that you have low magnesium? This is really a problem. Do you know where the magnesium is? Magnesium is in the bones and inside the cells, that is to say that only 1% of magnesium is present in the blood. So, when you take a blood sample, magnesium generally remains at normal values until the deficit is severe. It is difficult to find low magnesium values in the blood, that is why not only blood values are used, but also urine values or other more complex imaging studies. Or a red blood cell is broken and the magnesium content is seen. However, detecting it through blood and urine is critical, especially if you have these symptoms I just mentioned. That is why it is important that you know how much to eat per day, and rather than treat its deficit, avoid the deficit. How much magnesium should you eat per day? Well, if you are a woman, about 310 to 320 milligrams, and if you are a man, about 400 to 420 milligrams per day. To give you an idea, half a cup of boiled spinach has more or less 50 milligrams, so it is quite easy, knowing the food and knowing how to cook it, to reach these values. But if you eat some foods, take some drugs, drink alcohol, it is likely that you do not get it properly, because maybe you are not absorbing it, and for that, you have to know which are the foods that contain the most magnesium. There are very good foods and very bad foods. Let's start with the very good ones. But before we continue, if you are liking the video, subscribe to the channel and like it. The best foods to have enough magnesium are dark green leafy vegetables, spinach, chard, broccoli. But here's a secret. Be careful, if you boil spinach, chard, and you do it for a long time, you will see that it becomes clear, loses its color, etc. This is because the nutrients, the antioxidants, the anti-inflammatories of the vegetables, are lost, and it also happens with magnesium. I am not telling you not to boil spinach or chard, but do it for a short time. That is with respect to vegetables. With respect to seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, contain a lot of magnesium. However, some cereals or legumes such as soybeans, which also contain a lot of magnesium, have what are called anti-nutrients. These anti-nutrients are substances present in these vegetables or in these seeds that when consumed prevent the absorption of nutrients in our intestines such as magnesium. So what can you do so that this does not happen? Soak them. If you want your diet to provide you with enough magnesium, then you should soak the flax seeds for several hours, soak the leaves for several hours. This will allow to keep away the anti-nutrients and allow a better absorption. If soaking does not seem like a good option, roasting also removes the anti-nutrients from these foods. Here is another secret: if you are a person who eats rice, I have good news for you: rice contains a lot of magnesium. But you know what the secret is: the more refined your food is, I am talking about white rice, the less magnesium it will have. 50% less, so if you eat grains such as rice, make them whole grains, so you will be sure to have all its nutrients in an enhanced way. On the other hand, nuts contain a lot of magnesium, almonds and walnuts, for example. But be careful, nuts contain a lot of calories, so don't eat too much during the day, but add them to your fruits, add them to your salads for a crunchy taste and to provide good fats, antioxidants and magnesium. And here I have one of the best news for you. If you are a person who likes sweet foods, then dark chocolate, high in cocoa, has large amounts of magnesium. If you are a dark chocolate eater, one small bar per day, you will surely be providing gigantic amounts of magnesium that will allow you to reach the daily value you need. Finally, I name other foods that also contain magnesium: yogurt, but remember that it is not processed. Avocado has a lot of magnesium, so it is easy to get adequate amounts. But no, it is not so easy to know how to cook, to keep the anti-nutrients away. Now, it is not enough just to consume foods that have magnesium, but you have to stay away from foods that prevent the absorption of magnesium. For example, if you drink a lot of alcohol, you probably have a magnesium deficit. If you take vitamin D, without sufficient amounts of magnesium, you may be magnesium deficient. Vitamin D, to put it simply, uses a lot of magnesium to form. So if you take too much vitamin D, your blood magnesium is likely to go down if you don't have adequate values. But the opposite is also true. It is true, if you have too much magnesium, it is likely that vitamin D will decrease. So, they have to be in balance. On the other hand, if you take diuretics, your magnesium values may be low, the same with gastric protectors recognized worldwide, such as omeprazole. Omeprazole actually prevents or hinders the absorption of magnesium. What we mean by this is that, do not stop taking these medications, but if you do not consume foods with magnesium and you take these medications, perhaps it would be good to have a laboratory to see if you lack magnesium, because you have many risk factors to have this lack. Also, remember to stay away from anti-nutrients from seeds, legumes, etc. Now, a big question: is it useful to supplement with magnesium? Who should supplement? The answer to this is quite complex, but to make it simple, if you are a person who is at risk of magnesium deficiency, as we have just said, and you have symptoms, conscious, doctor-prescribed magnesium supplementation is safe. Did you know that there are magnesium supplements that can lower your magnesium by causing diarrhea or because they are not absorbed in the intestine? Did you know that there are supplements that are better for your brain? And furthermore, did you know that there are even magnesium supplements that greatly improve tolerance and bioavailability for people who get diarrhea? Let's start here. Magnesium citrate is one of the best known and most affordable supplements in the world. Magnesium citrate is very good because it is well absorbed and has good bioavailability. Now let's talk about magnesium lactate. This formulation is as good as citrate, but it is better on one point: magnesium lactate is much better tolerated at the abdominal level. In general, it is a bit more expensive. To finish this video, we will talk about the benefits that scientists have studied for magnesium. One of the greatest benefits is for insomnia. If you have trouble sleeping, it does sleep hygiene, but maybe they added about 500 milligrams of magnesium a day about 2 hours before bedtime, especially if you add it with melatonin, it can help induce sleep. Many doctors use it with these functions because several studies support it. Another very frequent use is as an adjuvant to some drugs. For example, for migraine, for headache. There are patients who have migraine all the time. Consuming 400 to 600 milligrams of magnesium can help prevent up to a third of the attacks and even reduce their frequency and duration. You may wonder about cramps. We have already told you that one of the symptoms of magnesium deficiency is cramps, but cramps occur for many reasons. Now, if the reason for your cramps is lack of magnesium, then in this case it is supplementation in good nutrition, which can help. Regarding diabetes, did you know that, does magnesium act on the beta cells of the pancreas and help insulin act on the cells, and allow sugar to enter? It not only increases insulin secretion, but insulin function, in animal models. This means that while this cannot be extrapolated to humans, some small studies show that patients who eat enough magnesium daily or who have enough magnesium in their blood, have better glycemic control, less insulin resistance, and even if they are diabetic, then it seems to be a good idea to have enough magnesium in their blood. And finally, at the level of the heart, there are small studies that show that perhaps consuming enough magnesium per day helps to lower blood pressure, although they are a few percentage points, this trend is good. Also, other studies a little more controversial, show that even people with sufficient levels of magnesium have fewer cardiovascular events, heart attacks, strokes and other issues. In closing, always remember to be careful, not everyone can take magnesium supplements. If you have frequent diarrhea, if you have chronic kidney disease, you should ask your doctor if you can take supplements. I hope you found this talk about magnesium useful and informative. To close this video, remember that the symptoms of magnesium deficiency are nonspecific. You may feel very tired, you may have muscle cramps. In extreme cases you may have convulsions. It can also become difficult to treat your blood pressure if you are hypertensive, or it can become difficult to treat your blood sugar if you are diabetic. Remember that to find out, you will have to get tested and consult your doctor. Do not forget that the best foods to have enough magnesium are dark green leafy vegetables, spinach, chard, broccoli, seeds, nuts, good chocolate, natural yogurt, avocado, all foods that can provide magnesium. But remember that you must know how to cook them well, so that they do not lose their benefits. Finally, the most important thing is that if you consume alcohol, or daily medications, do not do it anymore. The latter will take away all your magnesium. And remember that if you want to supplement your magnesium, don't forget to consult your family doctor. And most importantly, keeping your magnesium in line will help with insomnia, migraine, cramps, and help you control diabetes, as well as cardiovascular and hypertension problems. If you liked the video, share it with your family and friends, subscribe to the channel and like it.